All right, these are the answers to our test review, which I'm hoping you do really, really well on. Get the year started off with a good test score. First one says, number 7 is an element of which set? Now, we can find 7 in here with these, so it's definitely a natural number. But remember, if it's a part of an inner circle, it's also part of all the things that are outside of it, which means it's also a whole number, it's also a rational, and it's also a real number. The only thing it doesn't belong is the irrational. It's the only one that we would not circle, but all the other ones definitely work. Okay. This one says, which two numbers are elements of both of these sets? We are looking for even numbers. So anything that's odd, I'm going to cross out. Okay. And I want it to be a multiple of 5. Multiples of 5 end in 0 or 5. So not that, and not that. That leaves me with 10 and 40. That's my two choices there. Solving linear equations. By now we should feel really confident that adding 3 is the first step here. We'll get 6x equal negative 36, and then divide by 6, should get x equal to negative 6. Over here we're going to distribute that 4. So 4x minus 12 minus 2x equals 44. All right, then we're going to put these together. 4x minus 2x is 2x. All right. Then we're going to get rid of this minus 12. We're going to go plus 12, 2x is equal to 56. And we're going to divide by 2, x equals 28. Okay. So again, by now we should feel pretty comfortable with the steps in those little process there. This one here says David charges his clients $30 per hour. Keep in mind, when we see that per hour, that's always the number that's going to go next to the variable then. Okay, plus an additional $70. So $70 goes there. His most recent client was charged $265, so that goes right there. Okay, so we've written the equation. Now we want to solve that, so we're going to subtract 70. 30h equals 295, and then we're going to divide by 30. Right, and I believe when we do that, we should get 10. Just under 10 hours, right? Let me do that real quick on a calculator here. 295 divided by 30 is 9.83 hours. So real close to 10 hours there. Okay. All right, then we're solving these with variables on both sides. So I want to get rid of one of the variables. I'm going to get rid of the 7x. It goes away. We got 5x minus 7 equals 57. And then we're going to add 7. So 5x equals 64. And we're going to divide by 5. And that'll give us x equal to 12.8, I believe. We do that. Same idea over here. 9x minus 5x can be put together to make 4x. Still have that minus 4 equals 8 plus x. Okay. So now I'm going to get rid of that x. So 3x minus 4 equals 8. We're going to add 4 now. 3x equals 12. And then we're going to divide by 3. X equals 4. So again, those should feel pretty, that page right there should have felt pretty confident, pretty similar. You'll have a page like that on your test. How many solutions does this equation have? Let's show our work. So let's put these together first. So negative 4 minus 6 is negative 10. And then 9 minus 12 is a negative 3. Okay? Equals negative 4 minus 10x. All right, so now right away I see this minus 10x, this minus 10x. So we have the same thing on both sides, but we're not doing the same thing to both of them. This one's being subtracted by 4, this is being subtracted by 3. That's going to take them and not make them equal anymore, so therefore we're going to have no solution. If they had been exactly the same, then that would be an infinite solution. If these weren't the same thing, if one was one and one was the other, then it would be one solution to that. Okay. All right, this one here is asking us to solve for x, so we're going to distribute. That's 8x minus 6 minus 3x plus 8 equals negative 9x plus 30. Let's put these together. 8x minus 3x become 5x. negative 6 plus 8 becomes a positive 2. All right, now we're going to get rid of this negative 9x. We're going to go plus 9x. So 14x plus 2 equals 30. Subtract 2. 14x equals 28. And then we're going to divide by 14, and we're going to get x equal to 2. Okay? So that's our answer. Then this question is, can you find the value of 2 times x? In other words, you know x is 2, so it would be double that. 2 times 2 would give us 4. Right. So yeah, not too bad there. This one here says a student has tried this problem, and where was the mistake made? So if we look right away, the first thing it says is he should have added 2x and 3x together. Well, that's not right. They're not on the same side, and they're inside. That's not something that we should do. A student should have added 2 in step 2 instead of subtracting 2. So in step 2, we see that they added 2 to get rid of this thing here. That's probably not it either, right? But they should have plus 2. That is the one. See how this is negative 2 times negative 1? Negative 2 times negative 1 should have been a plus 2. That is the one that is actually incorrect. Okay, a little sneaky. Everything else about the problem is actually okay. That is the only one that, so if you examine the other ones, it says they should have 9x. No, 5x minus 4x is 1x. Should have 7x instead of that. No, if you subtract 6x, you would get negative 5. So the only one that isn't right is B. All right, working with formulas, it says, can you isolate x in this formula? So we're going to add c to both sides. We're going to get y plus c equals mx. Okay, and then we're going to divide by m. Go the way, and so x equals y plus c divided by m. Okay, that's not too bad. Then it says, can we solve knowing these things? So x equals y, which is 7, plus c, which is 5, divided by m, which is 3. That's 12 divided by 3, which gives us 4. Okay, so that's not too bad. All right, this one here gives us this kind of complicated looking thing, and it says, can we isolate g? Can we get g by itself? So first thing we should do is multiply by r. So we're going to get r times v squared equals 2gm. And then I'm going to go ahead and divide by 2 and m. Divide by 2 and m. They both go away. So we get g equals rv squared over 2m. All right, so again, that's not too bad right there. All right, then we have the inequalities. I want to solve and graph this one. So I'm going to add 9. Add 9, negative 5x is less than 15. And then we're going to divide by negative 5. Because we're dividing by negative 5, that sign has to flip. And we're going to get x greater than negative 3. So we come over here, we're going to circle the negative 3. Numbers greater than are this way. And we're not equal to, so we don't fill it in. That's our answer right there. Okay. Solve and graph this inequality. So we're going to distribute here. Get 8x minus 32 plus 12 is greater than. And I'm going to go ahead and put those together. X plus x is 2x. Okay. And then this is going to give us 8x minus 20 greater than 2x plus 4. We subtract 2x. 6x minus 20 is greater than 4. If we add 20, 6x is greater than 24. We divide by 6, we get x greater than 4. So circle the 4, greater than goes this way, and that'd be our answer then. Okay. All right, then we get this one here, which we're going to distribute. So x plus 12 minus 4x is less than or equal to negative 3x minus 2. We're going to put these together. This is a negative 3x plus 12 is less than or equal to negative 3x minus 2. If we add 3x to both sides, we get 12 less than or equal to negative 2. Okay? Now, 12 is not less than negative 2. This is false, right? So in other words, this is always going to end up being false, and therefore there is no solution. Now, if we had gotten it the other way? What if we had gotten 12 greater than or equal to -2, which is true, right? Well, then that's all real numbers. And in that case, we would have graphed everything, okay? That's if that's what was happening. For this problem, however, no solution was our answer, okay? All right, compound inequalities, what we want to do is solve these first. So subtract 2, 5x less than 25, and then divide by 5. We're going to get x less than 5. Okay, that's one of them. Then over here, subtract 4, negative 3x less than or equal to 9, divide by -3. We're going to get x greater than or equal to -3. Remember to flip that sign because you divided by a negative. We're looking for all the numbers that are greater than -3 and less than 5. Those numbers are between -3 and 5. So we're going to draw a line between those two. And it can equal -3, so we're going to fill that one in as well. Okay? So that would be our answer for that one. All right. Then we get 1, 7 here. We're solving these absolute value equations. So when we have an absolute value equation like this, we're going to set two equations. X minus 5 could equal 8, or x minus 5 could equal -8. Okay. If we add 5, x could equal 13. Add 5, x could equal -3. So those are our two possibilities. If the absolute value is not by itself, then get it by itself real quick. Divide by 5. We get absolute value x plus 3 equals 8. And now you can set up your two equations. X plus 3 could equal 8, or x plus 3 could equal -8. Both cases, we're going to subtract 3. Subtract 3. And we end up with 5 or -11. Okay? 5 or -11. All right, then this one here says graph the given inequality. We want absolute value of x to be less than or equal to 4. So when we have an absolute values that are less than 4, the numbers that we're talking about are between 4 and -4. Okay, and because it's equal to, we want to fill those in. If it had been greater than, we would have gone out to the sides, but less than we went right there. All right, solve and graph this compound inequality. So we're going to add 8. Sorry, this got out of order on me here. So this was, I thought that was wrong. Sorry, I jumped a page here. We're coming back to do the rest. Apologies for that. So 6x is greater than 18. Divide by 6. We get x greater than 3. Okay. Over here, subtract 7. Negative 4x is greater than or equal to 20. Divide by -4, we're going to get x less than or equal to -5. Remember to flip the sign because you divide by a negative. Okay. We want all the numbers now that are greater than 3. That's numbers going this way, or less than or equal to -5. That's filled in right there and going that way. Those would be our answers there. All right, last one here says area A of rectangle is between 10 and 70. Which one says that? So we're just simply want an expression that says that the area is between 10 and 70. Now both of these put area between them, but 10 less than 70, 70 less than 10. That's not correct. This is the one that is. Okay. And it says if you know the length of the rectangle is 5, write an equality for the height of the rectangle. So we know area is length times height. So 5 times h is the area. That is between 10 and 70. So if we divide everybody by 5, we end up with 2 less than or equal to h less than or equal to 14. All right, those are our answers. Good luck tomorrow. You're going to do great.